Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. This is the final virtual presentation for twice a week trash collection program. We'd like to thank you for joining us today. My name is Keisha McCarty. I am the Communications Director for the Office of Clean and Green Initiatives. Just want to share a few housekeeping rules tonight. First one is we will give our presentation, and if you would please place your questions in the chat area or in the Q&A section, we will answer your questions at the end. Also, if you are a media representative, please email me directly your questions and we will respond to you as soon as possible. At this time, I would like to turn the presentation over to Director of the Office of Clean and Green Initiatives, Carlton Williams.
Good evening, residents, concerned citizens of Center City and South Philadelphia. My name is Carlton Williams, and I am the Director of Clean and Green Initiatives for the Honorable Mayor Sherelle L. Parker and the City of Philadelphia. And I'm excited to be here this evening to introduce a new initiative to support Mayor Parker's vision for a safer, cleaner, greener Philadelphia. The Twice a Week Collections Program is set to launch in South Philadelphia and Center City neighborhoods. And we're here tonight to go over and preview what the Twice a Week Collections Program, so people will have a full understanding of what's being offered in addition to their current collection practices. So let us begin. I will give you an overview of what today's presentation will be. We will look at our current sanitation operations, the amount of trash that we currently collect by neighborhood, the challenges that we have in illegal dumping and litter, and what our current practices cause, 311 illegal dumping complaints. We'll also look at why we're rolling it out in specific neighborhoods like South Philadelphia due to population density. We'll also look at the number of multifamily property locations in condensed communities, which also is a contributor to litter and illegal dumping. And we're going to take a look at the litter index that indicates where the highest indices of litter is. The Twice a Week Collections Operations Plan will be previewed to answer any questions and to give you a complete overview of the days that your trash will be collected during the week. We'll also go over sanitation regulation reminders, letting people know about the rules and regulations of the program and our current practices, how upcoming holidays and holidays throughout all next year, city observed holidays will affect the program. And finally, we'll talk about the communications timeline to let residents know when this process will begin and the information through a brochure that we'll be distributing to all residents in Center City and South Philly to let them know all of the information that is discussed this evening. So let us begin. Our trash collection operations currently offers weekly curbside collection to residential household dwellings between 1 and 6 units. So if you're a duplex, a triplex, a quad, or six units, we still provide that collection service, provided that you only put out 8 bags and 4 32 max gallon containers per unit. So if you're a single family household, it's 8 bags and 32 gallons. If you're a 4 or 3 unit property, you are allowed per property 8 bags and 4 32 gallon max containers. We also collect 2 bulk items each week in our trash collection that is not considered white metals or electronic or hazardous material. Our sanitation operations is divided up into 6 areas and 13 districts. The areas that we are currently housed at to collect collections is in Area 1, West and Southwest Philadelphia, Area 2, Center City and South Philadelphia, which is your area, Area 3, which is North Philadelphia, Area 4, which is Germantown and Manioc, Area 5, which is Logan and Frankfort, and Area 6 in the Northwest. So the area that we're talking about in question is right here, South Philadelphia, where most of our residents that are impacted by this program currently reside. The amount of tonnage that we collect from each area varies. Again, Area 1A, which is in West Philadelphia, collects a considerably large amount of tonnage in these areas. This is also impacted by the size of the area and community. South Philadelphia is one of the smaller districts, but still has a considerable amount of rubbish and trash that we collect from as compared to area 6A, B, and L, which is found in the Northeast, which has a much larger area with many more houses and so forth, but it varies. But on average, we collect over 600,000 tons a year from 550,000 households. So illegal dumping, one of the biggest challenges that we face in our city that impacts litter conditions and our neighborhoods and the quality of life in our communities is litter and illegal dumping. The city of Philadelphia has experienced an increase in illegal dumping over the years, and it's defined as waste material that is intentionally placed in locations not permitted for storage or collection. The sanitation department spends nearly $1.5 million each year cleaning up dump sites like this from vacant lots and other properties. Illegal dumping has many impacts. It affects neighborhood appearance. It affects the public health and safety of our residents and our communities. It decreases property values, and in some cases, it can increase in crime. It is one of the top 311 complaints that citizens complain about the most. Only one area, abandoned autos, is ahead of illegal dumping, followed by graffiti and other quality of life issues. But you can see the top two quality of life issues are abandoned autos and illegal dumping. There are several sources of illegal dumping. The first source is done by private contractors, where you see here where there's wood and all different other types of material, carpet and so forth. That's usually done when people are working on homes or doing house cleanouts. There's commercial illegal dumping, where they have overflowing dumpsters that attract other problematic issues like more trash, rodents, and the like. Then there's tires. Many tire shops dumped illegally. Last year, we collected over 200,000 tires in the city of Philadelphia. And finally, what we're here to talk about today is residential illegal dumping, which ultimately impacts our neighborhood probably as much as the other three. Residential illegal dumping occurs when household trash is set out at separate locations other than their legal property address and outside their scheduled collection time. Here we have an example of a vacant lot, and ultimately residents from all over the community have begun to throw their residential household trash, and this is trash that we collect in our normal collection process, right at these locations. We can find residential illegal dumping in multiple areas. We can find them on vacant lots, local street corners, around big belly trash, solar powered trash cans, and sometimes in our parks and recreation centers. And so most of this stuff, in fact, all of this stuff is what we currently collect in our residential collection stream. So why are people taking it upon themselves to dump in these areas? Well, we believe a lot of it has to do with the following factors. Densely populated communities have limited storage capacity. Also commonly found in areas that are zoned residential multifamily use. So look at the photo at the bottom here. If you can pay close attention to that, it has 4 electric meters from Pico meters, and that indicates that this is a 4-unit apartment building. But look at all of the trash and debris that it generates, and it ends up spilling over into the streets. And ultimately that trash then blows around in the community and neighborhood. And that's just from one property. Imagine if you have hundreds of property in the community that is like this, and you ultimately have a litter condition and a litter problem that becomes unmanageable. We believe that these properties have limited storage capacity for weekly trash and recycling collection, and they're more likely to illegally dump in locations other than away from their residence. So this is a density map that shows where the majority of the population lives in certain communities. The darker the color, the more people live in a designated area. So you can see in South Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, parts of Frankfurt in the Northeast, and in Germantown and Logan section, you see higher levels of population density. In addition, this is a zoning map that indicates the different types of properties and houses that live in certain areas, that are housed in certain areas. So the darker orange that you see here are multifamily homes, and you can see they're located again in South Philadelphia, North Philadelphia, parts of West Philadelphia, the lower parts of the Northeast, and up here, some in Germantown and the Logan sections of the city. If you overlay the following map here, the litter index map, with the maps that I just showed you, you can see where we have the highest indices of litter and illegal dumping. This is a litter index map, and the litter index map is rated from 1 to 4 and is color coded. 1 is a green area, and which means that it's litter free. 2 is a light yellow area, which means there's slightly litter, maybe a few pieces of trash on the street or on a block that could be swept up by an individual or a couple of people getting together for a cleanup. A 3, which is the darker orange areas that you start to see around these areas, represent higher concentrations of trash. Might not necessarily be heavy material, but it's certainly heavily littered and has a significant amount of trash that needs to be serviced with the assistance of the city of Philadelphia. And 4, which is the hot red areas that you see throughout the city of Philadelphia, represent heavy amounts of illegal dumping, tires, furniture, cleanouts. All of those pictures that you saw in those previous photos represent illegal dumping with contractor material, tires, and certainly commercial dumpsters that overflow. So what's the solution? We believe that increasing the trash collection frequency to twice-a-week collections in densely populated communities with limited storage capacity will help decrease litter and illegal dumping in our public spaces and in our right-of-ways. So how does the program work? This is a map of the South Philadelphia collection area that I showed you earlier. The colors have been changed to represent the new collection process. So if you are currently a Monday trash collection, you will receive a second collection on a Thursday. And this is from the areas of the Schuylkill Expressway to South 21st Street, or if you live in the lower part of this Monday route, the Schuylkill Expressway to South 20th Street, your second collection day would be on a Thursday. If you live in the boundaries from the Vine Street Expressway down to Oregon Avenue, from South 21st Street to South 16th Street, or if you live in the Packer Park community, which is from the Schuylkill Expressway all the way down to South 10th and 11th Streets, you will receive a Friday collection as your second collection day. So Tuesday and Fridays will be twice-a-week collections in your area. If you have a Wednesday collection day and you live between Vine Street and Packer Avenue, Oregon Avenue, from South 16th Street to South 11th Street, or if you live on the lower parts of the Wednesday collection route from South 20th Street all the way over to South 11th Street or South 10th Street, and you have a Wednesday collection currently, you will receive a Saturday collection. This is an added on service so that we could provide the second day collection for this area. And so we will be collecting trash 6 days a week as opposed to our current 5-day-a-week operation. If you are on a Thursday collection day currently, and you live between the boundaries of Vine Street Expressway all the way down to Oregon Avenue from 11th to 6th Street, or in this little pocket from Oregon to Bigler, from South 11th Street to South Fairhill Street, or from Bigler to Patterson, from South 10th Street to South Fairhill Street, you will receive your second collection day on a Monday. So you have a current Thursday collection day, your second collection day will be on a Monday. And finally, if you're on a Friday collection day, which is in this part of the city from Vine Street Expressway all the way down to Oregon Avenue, from South 6th Street to South Columbus Boulevard, or from Oregon Avenue to Patterson Avenue, from South Fairhill to South Columbus Boulevard, you will receive your second collection day on a Tuesday. So let's talk about the rules and regulations regarding the second collection. Most of the collection processes do not change for your second collection day. Residents within the boundaries in South Philadelphia and Center City will be able to continue to set out 8 bags or 4 32-gallon max containers on each collection day. So if you're on a Monday, you'll still be able to set out 8 bags or 4 32-gallon max containers. And if you're on your second day, Thursday, you'll be able to set out 8 bags or 4 32-gallon max containers. Residents will be able to also continue to set out compactable household furniture, or what we call bulk waste, i.e. sofas, wrap mattresses, box springs, etc., during that second collection day as well as the first. We do not collect white metals. We do not collect electronics or hazardous material. You can contact our department for additional bulk collection services that we started to pick up items such as white metals and electronics and TVs and so forth. Household hazardous materials, you can use one of the household hazardous waste days that we have scheduled throughout the year. There will be, this is an important point, no recycling collection will be collected on your second collection day. The reason why is because we don't generate enough material that warrants a second collection day for recycling. So essentially it would be redundant and a waste of resources if we ran trucks down for a second collection day where we're not filling up your trucks on the first day. So no recycling will be collected on the second collection day. Now, we are concerned that residents will begin to mix trash and recycling, so that provision will be enforced. People can get tickets and can be cited if they begin mixing their trash and recycling on a second collection day, and sweep officers will be out checking to ensure that that does not happen. So let's talk about holidays and how it impacts. There will be no second trash collection day during a holiday week. Once again, because of the first holiday scheduled day is usually a day behind, it runs too close to your second collection day. Just like recycling, it would be inefficient for us to run trucks up and down streets only after a day of trash or 2 days of trash is accumulated. So we want to be able to provide a service that's efficient. So there will be no second trash collection day on Christmas Day, New Year's Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, President's Day, Good Friday, Memorial Day, Juneteenth, Independence Day, Labor Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, Veterans Day, Thanksgiving Day, Thursday and Friday, and Christmas Day. So all during these weeks, you will only see your normal once a week trash and recycling collection day. You still will be required to set out 5 p.m. During the winter months to 7 a.m. the night before, or 7 p.m. During the winter months in the summer months, or during the evening hours. So we want to make sure people are very aware of the impact that holidays will have on this new program. This is an announcement schedule. We've held virtual community meetings to try to make sure that residents are fully aware of the impacts of the program. This is the final virtual meeting. However, we are in person tonight at Shot Tower Recreation Center at 101 to 131 Carpenter Street. And tomorrow we'll be at Murphy Rec Center at 300 West Shunk Street to give this presentation again for residents who may have missed any of the virtual or previous in-person community meetings. We are doing a press announcement on the day of. The program actually starts on December 2nd. So not this Monday, the following Monday, which is December 2nd after the holiday, the twice a week collections program will start. And if your collection day starts on any of the days on that Monday, you will receive the collections from the city of Philadelphia. Whether you're on a Monday's collection route, which your second collection will be on a Thursday, or you're currently on a Thursday, which your second collection day starts Monday, you will start receiving the service from the city of Philadelphia. We will provide a brochure out to all residents to ensure that they have this information. In fact, next week, we're mailing out brochures to every resident in the boundaries of the area so that they will have all of the information regarding the new collection schedule. You can also find this information out on our social media or Facebook pages at PHL CGO Office / Office of Clean and Green, or at PHL Sanitation / Sanitation Department. It's also found on the city's phila.gov website at phila.gov/sanitation. As mentioned again, the second to twice a week program starts December 2nd, 2024. We will be looking to expand to other areas of the city after we implement the collection program here in South Philadelphia. So as a reminder, once again, first collection day will be Monday. The second collection day will be Thursday. If your trash collection is original day on a Tuesday, second collection day will be on a Friday. If it's on a Wednesday, if there's an added second collection day on a Saturday. If it's on a Thursday, your first collection day, your second collection day will be on a Monday. And if you're on a Friday, currently first collection day, your second collection day will be on a Tuesday. This is the brochure that we will be sending out to all residents, so please be on the lookout for it. It explains everything that we just discussed in this presentation. It has the trash collection reminders of what you can set out during both days. It also reminds people about the importance of recycling. It has your set out requirements. There has the holiday schedule in which there will be no second collection day on it, a QR code to log on to the websites that allow you to see this information in your schedules. The second page also talks about the reason and the problems that's associated with our current process. It talks about addressing illegal dumping and where it's found and why we're offering this second collection process. It also talks about the importance of when the program starts and, of course, the important map to show where you are and when your second collection days will go, and along with the schedule that will be presented there. This concludes our presentation this evening. I want to now turn it back over to Keisha McCarthy-Skelton, who will now take questions in the chat so that I can answer any questions that you may have regarding the new collection process.
Okay, Director, we have one question. Will public trash cans also be picked up more frequently?
Well, yes. Number one, yes, they will. But number two, the reason why we're doing this is because we found that people are dumping around public trash cans because they don't want to keep it until their trash day, which is causing these problems in the first place. But absolutely, for your first point, Mayor Parker has invested over $9 million in new solar powered trash cans. You probably see them up and down South Broad Street right now. We're also expanding to commercial corridors along South Street, Passyunk Avenue, Point Breeze Avenue, and those areas, Oregon Avenue. So we're making sure that we provide additional trash cans to reduce litter along our commercial corridors and public right-of-ways. But the ultimate goal of second twice a week collections is so we can also try to prevent residential household dumping from around those containers in those areas.
Director, we had two residents say thank you for this information, and they will make sure to pass it on to their neighbors.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, because that's what we want you to do. If you have an e-blast or you communicate with your neighbors through email, certainly you feel free to download the brochure at www.fuller.gov/sanitation and then forward it to them as well. And then they can have the same information. And that's basically what we want all of our residents to do, is inform others that this new program is starting on December 2nd.
The next question is a lot of rentals in my area, Passyunk Square, many with non-English speaking tenants. How is this information getting to them and or the landlords?
That is a great question. Keisha, do you want to handle that as our communications director?
Yes, we are currently in the process of having the brochures translated to Spanish and Mandarin languages. So we will have this information in multi languages for residents in the area. So that is taking place as we speak. We will have translation for everyone. The next question, many already don't follow the holiday schedule, delays in trash collection. How will enforcement work in trash violations?
Yep, great question. Our sweep officers will be out in full force to issue violations. And first, we want to make sure that people are educated as much as we can about the program and reminding them about setting trash out during holiday schedules. We are working with our sweep officers to enforce the laws to ensure that anyone who sets their trash out during that holiday week, especially for second collection, is addressed. We will have trucks out to make sure that it doesn't sit out longer than it should, especially with having a second collection until your next trash collection a couple days later. So we don't want this to be a problem program. We're going to do everything we can to ensure that residents are fully aware and set out reminders of them not to set out their second collection during holiday weeks. And we will be enforcing that as well as making sure that we pick up any trash after it's been enforced.
The next question, it seems that most trash litter is caused by improperly bagged trash or bags that are ripped into. Was a trash system or better enforcement idea considered?
Great question. So we looked at things like containerization in certain areas of the city, certain areas of the country, out in the suburbs, especially then in rural areas or southern communities down south where they have wide open space, off-street parking. That's where that's very effective. When you have semi-automatic toters that can lift 90-gallon containers, 60-gallon containers, where they usually also pay for that service, but it is an effective service to control litter conditions because it's a wheel rolled in cart that stays containerized, and the cart makes sure it gets into the bin and not spilled out onto the streets. So we've looked at that. But if you consider neighborhoods like, again, the map that I showed you, North Philadelphia, South Philadelphia, and West Philadelphia, where we don't have off-street parking, where we have densely populated communities, and certainly don't have the storage capacity or space to place bins of that size, it's very difficult for us to implement that type of program. So we've looked at that process to be able to try to offer that to our residents, but it's just not practical because of the old infrastructure and the way our city is built. So this process is certainly one that we believe that it will be more effective in controlling the amount of litter and trash on our streets. We are looking at how people bag out their trash, and the mayor wants to actually implement a program where we give sturdy contractor bags out to residents. We're working on that with vendors to see if we can get certainly contributions, donations to be able to distribute to residents so that we can get the heavy duty contractor bags so that it doesn't cause the spillage that you see from broken open bags.
The next question is, are there concerns that twice weekly trash pickup will lead to more trash on the street? For example, windy days.
Yeah, that is a concern. And we will do our best. We have district residential cleaning teams that's out in every area of the city right now. So when those things do happen, we will make sure that we have workforces and cleaning forces to clean those areas up. If you are experiencing those problems, we're going to encourage residents to call 311 so that we can clean your block. We certainly don't want this to lead to an additional problem of litter and illegal dumping. But we do believe we do recognize that is a concern. And again, we think we have forces out there to help clean and assist those areas.
What can we do about apartment building renters who don't pull their cans to the curbside?
We can certainly enforce the law. And so early set outs, improper set outs, late set outs are all violations that we can enforce in reference to property owners and landlords who don't provide adequate trash collection and who don't follow the rules and making sure trash is set out at the appropriate time. So again, if you have those locations and you see that happening quite frequently, please contact 311 and definitely notify us if it's a reoccurring practice, and we can make sure that we address those landlords either through fines or even court to hold them accountable for the litter conditions they're creating.
We have one question. Resident said they joined this presentation late. They asked how can they get the program and the information.
Oh, sure. I'm sorry that you joined late. The information will be provided on our website, as this is one of the brochures that has all of the information in it. We talked about, just to give you a quick summary and overview, we talked about collection days. We talked about what the impacts of recycling on. I'll briefly go back over if you have time. Really quickly, the last couple of slides is really what's important. What we introduced was a new twice-a-week collection schedule. for Center City and South Philadelphia. So for example, if you're on a Monday current schedule, you'll receive a second collection day on a Thursday. If you're on a Tuesday schedule and live in this area, you'll get it on a Friday. If you're on a Wednesday collection schedule, you'll get it on a Saturday. If you're on a Thursday collection schedule, you'll receive it again on a Monday. And if you're on a Friday collection schedule, you'll receive it on a Tuesday. And some of the rules and regulations, we still collect the same amounts that we do on your first collection day. The only difference is that recycling will not be provided on that day, and we will be enforcing the law if people are starting to throw recyclables away on your second collection day. The reason why we're doing holiday schedules, there will be no twice a week collections during the holiday schedule. So during all of these holidays that you see here, there are about 13 of them. We will not be providing this twice a week collection schedule because it runs too close to the next collection day and the program would be inefficient. Some of the information that we handed out again, this information can be found on our social media pages. We'll be giving you a brochure that you can download. Ultimately, we're also giving community meetings at these locations. So we'll make sure that these brochures here will be available to all residents through electronic download. And you can download it at www.phila.gov/sanitation, and we can get you that information. So all of the information we discussed this evening of why we're doing this, when the collection process will take place, and the impacts of the program will be found in this brochure.
Next question. Are there any discussions or plans to educate or conduct outreach to residents and or businesses on waste reduction efforts to try and reduce trash creation?
Absolutely. So our goal is to get to zero waste, and by introducing new processes for, say, things like organics. Organics currently make up about 25% of the waste stream. That's items that can be taken out of our waste stream and can be used into some kind of renewable product like energy or gas. We're certainly working with our waste haulers to try to build the infrastructure here in the city of Philadelphia to offer an organics program. We certainly can increase our recycling rates, which is why it's important that people not throw it away on their second collection day and that recycle as much as possible. We currently have a diversion rate of about 13 or 14%. We need to be somewhere around 25 or 30%. The diversion rate is the amount of trash, the percentage of trash that we take out of the waste stream that is actual recyclable. All your cans, your bottles, your cardboard, your paper. Those are the things that we can recycle. Right now we're doing it at 14% or about 84,000 tons, and we need to be somewhere around 25%. Between organics and recycling, we should be at 50% diversion, which will ultimately reduce the amount of trash that we're sending to those disposal sites and those landfills.
We had from our friends at Sosna.
Oh, hello, how are you?
They say not a question, but thank you for the information. We'll do a social media blast to our Sosna neighborhood. Also, Director, you look great on today's Fox 29. Good day. Thank you for all you're doing. And this is from Richard, I hope I'm saying it right, Glicknack, Sosna Clean and Green.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a ball on Fox 29 with Hank today, explaining the programs of what we're doing. We're not just doing twice a week collections. We have district residential cleaning programs going out neighborhood by neighborhood, block by block. I know Sansa also was requesting Big Bellies. We solar powered trash cans. I didn't forget about you. We're rolling that program out right now. In addition, we're also looking to do the city with the second round of citywide cleaning throughout the whole entire city of Philadelphia. So there's a lot of going on, and we would really appreciate the partnership Sansa and all our community groups have, because it is with those community groups that these programs succeed. Even with all the things that we're investing in trying to keep our Philadelphia clean, without community support, without many of the questions that you raised, landlords, cooperation, residents placing their bags out, collection properly, putting in programs like organics and recycling, and partnering with community groups who beautify and green their communities, we can't get to that vision and goal of a safer, cleaner, greener Philadelphia. So really appreciate you guys at Sansa, and thanks for the shout out about Fox 29 today.
We have, well, and I think you just answered this, but one question, any outreach plans to neighborhood cleanup groups?
Absolutely. Our whole The success of our old program definitely is predicated on cleaning, greening, and beautification plans. So earlier this year, we met with Sansa early in February, and we started to talk about many of the initiatives and how we can partner together and what are some of the needs of the community. They stressed the need for additional trash receptacles along certain commercial corridors, especially around the hospital, graduate hospital community area. We certainly took that in consideration. We want to plant more trees in neighborhoods. We want to green more vacant lots. We want to bring back the beauty of our city. And so, but we want to do that in harmony with community organizations and groups. And so our Clean and Green team will be going around meeting and talking to residents about what we can do to help invest in our communities so that we can keep our neighborhoods clean. So again, vacant lots, we want to activate those to make it usable for community residents. We want to add more solar powered trash cans. We certainly want to plant more trees through our Green Tree Philly program and any other things that we can do to help improve our community.
The next question, is there anything that can be done about trash collectors do not pick up the trash that fall on the street when they're going through the neighborhoods?
Great question. I think that was probably one of the most frequently asked questions throughout all of my presentations. And this is about the sixth or seventh one I've done. Yes, certainly let me apologize if that continues to occur in your neighborhood. There's something that we both can do. Number one, if you see that happening, there's a 6-digit number on every piece of city equipment. If you see a truck that comes through the area and you see that number and you see them not placing waste properly and they're not cleaning up after drop material, please record that number and send it to us. You can either send it through 311 or contact us in our department, and we will address that crew so that they will not continuously do that. We would also make sure our Clean and Green teams come through the neighborhood. That district residential cleaning team comes out and make sure that block is thoroughly swept and clean so that any residual waste that was dropped by our workers is addressed. But that is a challenge that we're working on internally, and we certainly apologize for that type of behavior.
One question here, how do we get alleyways cleaning scheduled?
Oh, that's great. You can request an alley cleaning through our 311 system, and we will notify you when we're coming into that area. Last year, we cleaned over 1,500 alleys throughout the city of Philadelphia, and we repaired the lights, the LED, we replaced the lights with LEDs so that it could be brighter, cleaner, and safer. And we're going to continue that program because it was in high demand. Our Future Track program was actually the ones that actually did it. So if you have an alley that you need us to clean and address, please send it over to 311. And because you're on the chat tonight, shoot us an email or put it in the chat, and we will make sure that it gets over to our alleyway cleaning teams to schedule it, and it will be done within the next few weeks.
We have one concern. The resident states, I'm worried that the additional trash day could cause snarl traffic backups, which adds to air pollution.
Well, that is a concern, but we believe that this is going to make our trash collection process more efficient. And let me explain why. Right now, each truck holds about and averages and collects about maybe 15 to 16 tons of waste throughout a given day on a route. If we add a second collection day, what we're actually doing is reducing the amount of trash that they're collecting on a given day. Remember, it's spaced out strategically from Monday through Thursday because we want to be able to capture waste that people don't want to hold and start throwing it all over the place. But when it comes down to the collection process, if you're generating that amount of waste and you're cutting it in half, you're actually getting through the routes faster and during non-peak hours, which means that they'll be done quicker. We also hope to utilize that to our advantage by making sure they clean routes and big bellies and vacant areas where they have that extra capacity. So we think it's actually going to be an improvement to the collection process. It does add additional trucks to the area, which when it comes down to emissions, does not help in that area. And that's one drawback of the program. If there was a way that we can be more efficient or get more fuel efficient trucks, we have been looking at like electric vehicles or CNG trucks that is supposed to burn much cleaner energy. We'll look at those options as well. But when you weigh the amount of trash and litter that's on our streets versus the negatives of the program, we think this is the best process moving forward.
We have one concern and question, Director. The resident states, we had a problem neighbor who put trash cans at the corner for others to dispose of dog waste. During the summer months, the poop baked and caused a horrible smell, and we could not stop this. 311, they felt didn't help. We kept throwing the cans away. Eventually, the neighbor did move, but they're concerned this could happen again. So, what is the solution for this quality of life issue?
We can enforce the law by making sure that they're creating a litter or, odorous condition that is part of quality of life. And so we can bring our sweep officers out and make sure that that property owner gets cited for that type of behavior, especially if they're leaving the trash out for that type of behavior. We can remove the container again, like was done in the past, and issue a citation to the owner.
At this time, Director, I see no more questions in the Q&A or in the chat area.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And I really appreciate the opportunity to spend this evening with you talking about the new collection program that is expected to start December 2nd. Please tell your neighbors. And we also will be evaluating the program. We want your feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how the program is doing as well. And certainly look forward to partnering with you all to help this city get cleaner and help Mayor Parker implement the goal of becoming the safest, cleanest, greenest big city in the nation. So thank you very much for your time this evening. My name is Carlton Williams, Director of Clean and Green Initiatives. Feel free to reach out to me directly at carlton.williams@phila.gov if you have any questions or other concerns or ideas that we can help make your neighborhood and our city more beautiful. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.